For some time, I've been using Algorand and other DeFi platforms. But one question has always bothered me. Am I actually making money, or am I just losing my shirt? Most crypto platforms don't offer a good way to track your earnings. So I decided to start an experiment. I put $100 into 3 different Algorand DeFi platforms. This is the result. What is up, Frugalnauts? We are back with our weekly portfolio update, our Algorand DeFi experiment, showing you we put $100 into 3 different projects, and as well as tracking the price of Bitcoin and some other ones. We're going to talk about next week. I'm going to be adding more about Near and Cosmos and tracking those a little closer. But we also have a new infographic system, and some people commented about how I could do it. And actually, I know how to make infographics. It was more about figuring out how I would put that into my workflow. So when I do this stuff, I think very carefully about how the workflow will happen, because I need to be able to do it week after week without it being a huge time burden, because I have a full-time job as well. And now I've figured it out. I have a great way to do it, and I'm really excited to show it to you. I think I actually used AI to help produce it through Python. I do know how to code them myself, but it's far more efficient with ChatGTP, especially since I can now just tell it, hey, add this to that previous graphic, and it does it efficiently. It doesn't make any errors. I have yet to have an error when using Python and ChatGTP. Anyway, but more importantly is like, how are things doing? Well, it's I'll just say it's looking good for BTC right now. It's not looking good for Algorand. This is the current charts. Just hit 15. It was actually below into the 14-cent range. We haven't seen that in a while. So we'll see that reflected in the charts, but let's get into where we're at here. All right, so Cometa is on the lowest. I'm going to show you this chart in a second. We'll kind of wrap everything up, but Cometa currently at 55.67. That is not great. That is with the reward. I don't know if, I think I could claim the reward, but anyway, you get the idea. Remember, this started at $100, and I think so. Not going great, partially due to the price of Cometa, partially due to the price of Algo. There is now a Pepe Algo pool, and apparently paying 143%. I'm just not convinced on that, but sometimes you might just YOLO and do it anyway. We'll see. Tiny Man doing a little better than everyone else, still at 83.96. Actually was a little bit higher, you'll see on the chart when we calculated it. But that is it's still doing the bust, still down obviously from $100. And since it's USDC Algo, that's mostly down just because of the price of Algo, which kind of makes sense. Folks Finance, still haven't figured this one out, but if I go to deposit, 1280 right now, that is down as well. Of course, that's just pure Algo, so that's just the price of Algo going down. And remember, the reason it is what it is because I started with a very low amount, because this is the carryover from the Algo stake experiment. So Folks Finance replaced Algo stake, and as you know, during the middle of our experiment, Algo stake announced that they were stopping operations. The price of the underlying coin, which we were staking, dropped like a rock. So that's not great. And so we only started with about $15, and that's down. I haven't really figured out the rewards thing. I assume that, I don't think this is tied to governance, so I'm not sure like how often they pay out rewards. If someone knows about that, leave it in the chat. I'd appreciate that. And then Lofty not doing so well. So here's the thing again, still 14 properties that are not paying. I don't know if that will change going forward in the next month, because I know this is based on April's, and April's had a lot that just were replenishing their emergency fund, if you will. So not great. Yeah, currently getting about 6 cents a day. I was up to 42 cents a day. And my goal is to start getting I want to get up to the point where I was getting like $1 a day. I thought that would create enough revenue to start buying more coins every once in a while. Still have some balance. Someone explained that available balance. Now I can't remember what they told me, but it doesn't, like I said, the rent balance plus the gift balance doesn't add up to the available balance. So Not 100% sure. Yeah, 14 out of 22 properties are not paying any rent right now, and that is the whole reason I bought it. So it's frustrating because this was supposed to be the hedge against all the other coins. This is not part of the DeFi experiment, by the way, but this is just me showing you what's going on. So that's that. And then let me find, this is the part I'm very excited about. And this is, we're going to see algo as well. I can think of one thing I want to do differently with the chart. But here's our chart that I created through, I can see source, Frugal VC, that's me. I get excited about this stuff. I like making data visualizations, and this is cool because you can see the performance over time. You can see how Kamada was doing pretty well and then just dropped like a rock. And if I went back a little farther, you could really see. Oh, that's weird about Folks Finance, actually. I'm not sure why the line is a little messed up there. I just noticed that. But yeah, you can see, looking from the chart, so far, our best performing asset was simply holding $100 worth of Bitcoin. And that is that at the time of the experiment, that was defined as 0.00375 Bitcoin. That's $100 worth. Algo is $466. So our tiny man has done a little better than Algo, mostly because we've been adding the assets. So that's the one that might actually be working better because it's Algo USDC. Obviously, US dollar coin is basically going to stay $1 every week, except for, you know, that little incident where it depegged, but never mind that. but you're actually gaining on your Algo USDC while matching the price of Algorand. So that might actually be the most beneficial thing to do with your Algorand, to simply hold it in the USDC Algorand pools. And I think I would do more of that if I wasn't in the middle of the experiment. So you can see that looking at the chart, you know, the very best thing you could have done was buy $100 worth of Bitcoin. And even though it's down to just a little over that $100, it's performed better than everything else on here, including $100 worth of Algorand. I mean, you can see the divergence from the beginning, where both of those had us up over $100 on April 14th, and by now we're way down. Oh, that's weird. I see what happened. It made a new date. I'll have to go back and look at that. We'll fix that for next week. It made a 5/14 day. I'm not really sure why that is. Yeah, we'll look into that. But otherwise, yeah, this is what's going on. I did not calculate everything for the others. I want to put like Near and Cosmos and stuff on this chart. So we'll add that next week. That is the update. I'm sure a lot of those are down as well. Pretty much everything is down for the week. So that's that. But overall, yeah, that's what's going on. I mean, that's the conclusion so far, is you're better off just holding $100 worth of Bitcoin than any of the DeFi stuff, or even just holding Algorand. A lot of debate today, by the way. Very interesting stuff. I may talk about it on live stream on Sunday, assuming I do it on Sunday. I haven't totally decided yet, but AJ Writes Crypto, who is on BitBoy Crypto's team and is a big Algorand guy, he wrote a tweet that was, you know, critical of Algorand, and it's I think it's good stuff to see. We should see that going forward. But you know, a lot of what I'm doing on this channel is just trying to figure out crypto and how it works and doing the experiment. So because I think too many people just make assumptions about crypto. There's a few heuristics that I think have largely hold true. You know, in bear markets like these, invest in a variety of coins, and you know, just hold until the bull market hits, and then you take some profits. That seems to be the way most people who earn, you know, are financially independent because of crypto. That's how they did it. I have not yet heard from one person who has become financially independent through DeFi. And even though I may have had dreams of that being the case, it seems pretty clear that that doesn't work. And we're seeing that from our experiment. The reason I started this experiment is I wanted to do the experiment to find out what actually happens when you invest in DeFi. And you can see that it gives you exposure. It necessarily gives you exposure to coins that are more volatile than Algorand, which is already a crypto, an altcoin, and thus somewhat volatile itself. So in other news, NVIDIA has done really well for me lately, and I don't really normally include it in my crypto updates, but I've been buying a little bit of it because of that basically their technology is absolutely necessary for AI. They're the only ones who have that capability, from what I understand, talking to people that know much more about this than I do. So I've been buying a little bit of NVIDIA, and the reason I bring it up is because it basically looked like a crypto stock. It just shot up one day. But it's gonna, I think over time, in my personal opinion, I'm buying this for myself because I think over time it's just gonna be one of those stocks that will prove to be valuable. All right. Well, that's about it for me this week. I hope you guys are doing well out there. As always, not your keys, not your crypto. Get your stuff off exchanges, Ledger for the maximum safety. Or is it? You can see my little short on Ledger. And one of the reasons why maybe it isn't that safe, but it might be a little backdoor coming up. So, but anyway, if you do want one, you can get one in my description along with a whole bunch of other stuff. And as always, I'm Frugal BC, and I will see you in the future.